Hey, fight fans, welcome back to Carlo Prusa MMA. I'm the fight doctor, Mr. Carlo Prusa. Today I'm with the Conqueror. He is Mr. Javanis Ross, and he is returning to that Gamebred cage. Last time he was out there, he beat RJ Summerlin back in 2021. It was supposed to be in action in Biloxi last year. Something happened, but he is going to be in Biloxi just in a few weeks. He's taking on a Biloxi guy in Tyler Zombie Hill. Javanis, man, I can't believe it. We're only like 3 weeks out from the contest. What is the mindset? What's the mentality right now, knowing that we're getting close to go time here?
Just I just go to the gym every day, man. I just been training, just busting my ass. Honestly, it's just I don't know, just mentally ready for war, mentally ready to back him up. He's not backing me up. Trust me.
How did you get into this crazy path, this crazy world of combat sports? There's so many things that you can do in this world, and you chose to be a professional mixed martial artist. How did you decide to do this?
Honestly, just I was fighting in the streets all the time, just growing up fighting. I seen it on TV and just hanging out with the guys, and I was just like, I can do that. I can fight those people. That's pretty much how I got into it. Just a dare, basically. Just you know, I can do it.
This sport has evolved and has grown up so much. I mean, 20 years ago, you had senators calling it human cockfighting. People thought it was barbaric, it was criminal activity. It was hardly, you couldn't find places that would actually sanction it.
Yeah.
You've been doing this now for about 10 to 15 years. Do you have any stories of back in the day, when you first started getting into it, early amateur fights, fighting in unsafe fighting conditions, maybe fighting outside, bars, mystery opponents? Do you have anything?
Not really. I mean, pretty much when I came up, it was kind of sanctioned, and I pretty came up with like combat night. I came up pretty good. I had good amateur experience. To be honest,
Would you say maybe 10 to 15 years ago, would you ever think we'd come to a time where we have a sanctioned bare knuckle MMA organization?
I mean, yeah, I believe so. Like, I don't understand what's so bad about it. To be honest, it's pretty much the same. It's just, I mean, it's more painful for sure. Every punch hurts.
And what was the process like, man, getting on that first one? You're one of those guys, you've been doing this for a while now. You're going into, I believe, your fourth time fighting on this Gamebred platform. It's pretty amazing. You've turned into one of those, I guess, OGs of Gamebred. But what was it like fighting on that first one?
Um, it really was. It wasn't nothing I had my mindset on doing. Dean called me like 3 days out and asked me did I want to fight, which I was already on the hiatus for like 3 years, and I was like, yeah, I fight it. I try it. Why not? So it just basically I just did it. It's like it wasn't no mind. I just did it on 3 days notice, no training. Um, so yeah, that's how I got into it.
Do you think it's important in this day and age, if you want to be a mixed martial artist that fights on these big shows, is it important, you think, to have that mentality where you kind of want to be training year round and always be ready to go?
I mean, I'll be being like a little biased because I don't train year round. But I normally train for a fight, so I feel like if you're gonna be at your best, yes, you want to be ready at all times so you can take any opportunity. But with that being said, I have bust my ass much as I could for the amount of time I had, and I feel like I'm in great shape and I'm ready to go.
So many people watch this sport in this day and age between the UFC, the PFLs, the Game Bread, BKFC. And, I feel like people see the big names. They see the Masvidals, the John Joneses, the McGregors, and they're like, wow, what a great life it must be to be a
Hmm.
professional mixed martial artist. This must be amazing. Little do they know, man, you know more than anybody. There's a lot of sacrifices that come with
Yeah,
this. When you're fighting a Game Bread, you're making decent money. But when you're fighting on other regional promotions, you're not making millions of dollars
yeah,
just fighting. It's
no,
not happening.
yeah,
A lot of guys have to work 9 to 5 jobs just to fund this. Some have
mhm.
kids, some have wives. You have to pay to train. You have to get punched in the face by killers, punch them back. They want to get there as bad as you do. You've been doing this for years. What's made you keep sticking motivated, keep punching and kicking forward?
I mean, I pretty much, like you said, I pretty much gave up on this goal just off the fact of it. Like you said, it was so the injuries just coming. I actually quit my job for this fight, so I'm going all in for this fight. Like, so, best believe I'm coming. Like what makes me do it is like I say, if I work, I don't like working. If I work for 6 months, one of these checks from Game Bread will be 6 months worth of work. So that's how I look at it. So that's why I fight for Game Bread.
Gamebred's still a relatively young promotion. I mean, it's only been a few years that they've been doing this. You've really jumped in the early stages. I mean, you've been part of their first few shows.
Mhm.
Do you really feel like the way you fight, how exciting, how flashy the success you've already had, do you feel like you can become one of these faces of this promotion in the future?
That's what I want to do. I mean, that's why I fight how I fight, because I can fight all kinds of ways. I can fight backing up. I can fight all kinds of ways, but I just I see the motto. I see what they try to push, so I try to be like a role model. Like I just want to be like a role model to like the league. So it's like I just want to be violent as I can. I want to be as aggressive as I can. I just want to, that's the mentality I come in there. I don't come in there to quit. I don't come in there to just. I just come in there to put on the show.
One of the game rep fights that I really enjoyed watching of yours was against Cody Herbert. Obviously, you went out there, you got a big win. Second round, you were able to land that triangle choke on him. Walk me through that finishing sequence. At what point did you see that you had the triangle?
I mean, when I fought Cody, I knew that he was a good opponent. He took some years off. When he came in, I took some years off. So I knew that pressure. He wouldn't be used to it. But I didn't know he was that tough. I could have if he wasn't as tough as he was, I feel like I could have finished him in like one round. But he was so tough and durable. I did not expect that. So the triangle is just one of my go-to moves. Um, and I just knew I had him. He was tired. He was keeping his head down. He was being lazy. So pretty much he just gave me the triangle. Yeah, so that's pretty much what happened.
It's kind of funny you mentioned how tough he is. One of my friends, Reggie Northrup, he fought him in Jacksonville, and he couldn't believe how tough he was. I
I
mean,
told him. I told him. He hit me up in the inbox. I told him.
absolutely. Now, moving forward, another great win of yours in Gamebred, RJ Summerlin, beautiful knees and punches there. What was it like to pick up that victory in that style? And the crowd was going crazy.
Um, I mean, from when I watched RJ last fight, he fought some undefeated guy and he destroyed him. But I just felt like RJ was a guy that I watched one of his interviews. Actually, I watched one of his interviews and he was talking about some moments in his career where he wilts, he quits, and that's what he was trying to overcome. And once I heard him say that, I knew. I was like, oh yeah, I can make him quit. I actually feel like this about my opponent coming up actually as well.
If you're speaking of your opponent coming up, it's Tyler Zombie Hill, a guy who's been doing this for a while as well, has made a little bit of a name for himself as a fun, exciting fighter, has fought some very game competition. What do you think of Tyler as an opponent?
I mean, I like him. He's tough. You know, he's aggressive. Um, but I also think that you know, for him to be coming from a camp, how hard he be training, how much he claim he take this serious. I just see moments I just see little glimpses of moments where he give up, and I just know that me training, me in shape, it's no give up. It's only death for me. So like knockout, I'm sleep. Long as I can see, long as I can move, I would never curl. I would never quit. I would never surrender. So just knowing that, I just feel like that's how I beat him. I feel like I just outdog him to the end.
There's so many stacked, great competition. I mean, so many great fights on this card. And, because of that, I think that you got your guys' contest is getting a little underlooked here. Dean and I were talking about it. I mean, this does have the makings of what could be the fight of the night. I mean, you have some good
I think
competition
so
ahead of
too.
you.
I think so too. I think all these veteran fighters, they're gonna be more elusive. They're gonna be more like technical. They're gonna be trying their best not to get damaged and stuff. That's how they fight. They smart. They've been in the game, but you put me and this guy, we gonna come forward. We gonna clash, and you know, hopefully I get him out of there in one round so I can come home with a pretty face. But it don't matter what it is. It don't matter. Win, lose, or draw. Long as I go out here and I give my all, I fight to the death. And when I say to the death, that means I'm out. If I lose, I'm sleep. I don't want to lose a decision. I really get knocked out cold or where I don't have no understanding. So long as I fight to the death, I'll be good with that.
Would you be surprised if this one goes to the cards?
Yeah, I'll be surprised because I don't believe in the cards because I never won a professional fight by the cards. I have finished every fight I ever won. And I respect this guy because, like I said, he's a veteran of the sport. He don't fought a lot of game opponents. He don't fought on big stages, he's active, so that means he's more active than me. So that means he's used to the chaos. He's used to it. Like he's just he's been living in it more. But I got my mind ready for it. And I understand what's ahead of me, and I got my game plan. And yeah.
You've been started this game pretty young, man. I mean, you're only 29 years old. You're really only getting into the prime of your career right now. Do you think with a big win over Tyler, does this really maybe set up a big resurgence for you in 2025 and a really good opportunity for you to make your mark in this promotion?
Yes, that's all I want. I just want to fight. I just need to beat Tyler. I know I could beat Tyler. To be honest, I know I'm better than Tyler. Tyler just he just if I show up for the fight, y'all gonna be very surprised and shocked how I can make this fight look. Honestly, to be honest, but we'll see. We're gonna see.
Obviously Tyler from Mississippi, that home crowd is definitely going to be cheering for him. You might get some boos. Do you embrace the role of coming in here as the villain and fighting in enemy territory?
I don't really care, man. They paying me enough money, bro. I don't care about none of that booing and nothing. It's just me and Tyler, and I respect him. He's probably gonna be one of the toughest fighters I ever fought. So I respect him. When I look at him, he got my respect, and I love that he got my respect because when I respect you, I'm more alert, I'm more triggered, and like I said, I'm coming to touch him. I know he can be knocked out. I know he can be hurt. So I'm coming to do it.
Is this a contest that you thought of in the past that could potentially happen? Did you envision yourself fighting Tyler at some point?
Nah, I never even paid attention to Tyler at all, to be honest. He got like what 20 fights, maybe 20 something fights. So I didn't expect to be fighting, Tyler. But I watched a couple. I ain't really study him at all. I watched one of his fights, his last fight when he fought. I forgot the guy name, but he lost. That's the only
Brandon
fight I
Jenks.
watched. Yeah, Brandon Jinx. I watched that fight, and I seen he had Brandon Jenkins hurt. I respect Brandon Jenkins. He's a great fighter. He had Brandon Jenkins hurt early, and he couldn't get the finish. But I see that he's dangerous early. So I'm just ready to fight him. I think it's gonna be fun. I just think it's gonna be a lot of chaos. You know, regardless how long it lasts, I'm gonna fight like a dog. I ain't gonna give up. And he better not give up, cause. Mm,
Gamebred definitely has some great competition in your weight class right now. Obviously, Jesse Ronsons of the world, the Henderson Ferreiras. You got Brandon Jenkins,
mm.
Kevin Lee now. Do those names excite you for the future?
I mean, if they fighting that, honestly, I'm using this fight as a gauge of me going down. Like I'm not expecting to fight at 185 after this again. I'm expecting to get back to 170, 155. I mean, I lost 35 pounds training for this fight in 4 weeks naturally. So I'm not I'm more out of shape than anything. Like I'm not a big guy. I was fighting at 145, 155. I just laid off. So I'm looking to go back down and weight. I think I'd be more comfortable down there. You know, just being honest.
I really think this is on paper the best show that these guys have ever put out. I
Yeah.
mean, there's so much depth. I think it's like 15 to 16 former UFC guys, man. I mean,
Mhm.
some really big names on this card. Does it excite you to be able to fight on something like this?
To be honest, I'm more excited just because I'm finna get paid good and stuff like that. I mean, they always do great shows. I barely sit here and watch the fights, even though I haven't. I'm just being honest. Like I'm not. Only person I ever was excited to see so far was Masvidal because I'm a big fan of him. All these other guys I used to watch them, but I never was a fan of them, so I care less.
One thing I think is so cool before all the fights, Jorge has the fighter meeting with all the guys. And, he tells that story. One night, Ben Askren, he turned his life over around him. He became one of the biggest names in MMA. Is that a pretty cool moment to listen to that every time you go out there and fight for Gamebred?
I mean, I don't think I heard that tell yet, but I always respect Masvidal. Before he knocked that Ben Askren, the two piece and the soda, I respected that because I live like that too. Like don't disrespect no man. All just the nature of him. I always was a fan. So regardless, so yeah.
Do you really feel like this promotion? I mean, it's already big now. I mean, there's a lot of people watching it. They're getting more and more viewers every single time, and as you can see by this card, I mean, they're getting new faces who are big names in the UFC to do this. How big can this promotion get, man? Can this really rival some of the other major promotions?
I feel like it should. Honestly, I feel like this should be like. I feel like this what UFC should be. I just feel like it's more like a natural, real truth of fighting. Even with the grappling, you can really grab people and control them so much better and easier. So it's like I just feel like this is the truth, the closest thing you can get to fighting. People try to make it seem like, oh, the people that do bare knuckles are not that skilled. They just a aftermath. But I'm just saying, maybe you get a couple young guys that just want to do bare knuckle, and you can see that it's a different talent. It take a different mind frame to do this. You know, honestly, it just take a whole different mind frame to do this.
I think that's a great point, and I think there's the bare knuckle MMA obviously something that's so new, and I think people don't really understand it. You look like at the guys in the UFC, you see the big names with gloves, and they're amazing. But to me, if you want to do bare knuckle MMA, man, that's not going to really translate. You have to have that dog in you
Yeah.
to do this stuff. You have to be literally willing to leave it all out on the line to be able to do this. You just feel like you have to be a different breed that not all glove mixed martial artists can adapt to do something like this.
Yes, because you're gonna be damaged. Like if you got any competitive fight, you're finna be damaged. You can it's easy to get your nose broke, easy to get your hands broke, cuts, you know, scars that's gonna stay with you. You know that comes with the sport in general, but with this sport right here, if you pay attention, pretty much every fight got a cut, every fight someone's bleeding. So I mean, this is true damage. Every shot hurts, like from a jab, just a simple jab, it hurts, it cracks. So it's a different mind frame, man. You got to be a dog in general just to be in there getting gritty in there. So
You think when it comes to bare knuckle and maybe MMA in general, do you think it's more of a mental thing than a physical thing?
yeah, it's definitely mental. Cause my first fight, I didn't want to really get hit, and it kind of like it kind of made me like a little hesitant. But then I told myself that my next fight, I'm going to get hit. I welcome it, and I got hit a lot. My eyes was closed down there. So it's definitely mental, and yeah, it's definitely a mental thing.
Do you think you kind of have to have that feeling, to go out there and to do your best and put on the best performance? Do you have to go in there accepting the fact that, hey, I know what I've signed up for, I know what I'm doing, I just need to let it go, all go. I could get knocked out, but
Yeah.
screw it.
Yeah, I go for the gusto. Like I don't fight to survive at all. So you're not gonna see me in there. I mean, I'm trying to be smart. I gotta be smart. I gotta be, technical enough where I don't just get knocked the fuck out. Cause that's what happened when I fought Jacob Kilburn. I was going stupid. I wasn't thinking about defense. But with that being said, I'm going for the win. Like I'm not in there to try to survive if I'm losing to make it to the decision. Like I'm gonna fight with everything I got with every skill set I got, with every malicious technique, whatever malicious attack, you know. And that's how I think. Like I think on putting on a show. I'm more of a showman. Like I want to put on a show for the crowd. So my mind is not just going in there to win, it's going in there to be very violent because that's what the show represents. And I just hope that after this fight, I get some recognition for, willing to come out there and sacrifice my health just to put on a show because you're gonna see it. You're gonna realize like this guy comes to fight. He don't comes to do nothing but fight. And that's basically what I'm coming to do. I'm coming to brawl. I'm coming to I don't know. They'll see.
Has the mentality, has the mindset, has it changed from when you first started getting in combat sports?
Yes. I used to be more of a technical fighter. I started looking at the fighters like Mike Perry. So I started getting a little bit more of a dirty style in me. I used to be more, elusive, but now I'm getting it's like I'm more dirty, like I'm more willing to trade punches. I'm more willing to, stay in the pocket longer, So yeah, I'm way more malicious and I'm way more like willing to do stuff. Um, but this fight right now to me is just something to prove to myself because I've been out the game. I'm fighting a guy that's a veteran. To me, he's better than me. That's how I think. He's better than me. So I'm looking at him as a great challenge, and I just want to pass this test.
You know, for you, what's the ultimate goal, man? What's the goal of the MMA career in this point in your life?
I don't know, man. I just want to get much money I can make out of the sport. Maybe make some type of name. Maybe find some business. Maybe find some avenue. I definitely don't want to be in the UFC. I don't have goals like that. I really just want to be a Gamebred fighter. I just want to see can I get paid like some of these guys that's got big names and stuff. But that's basically it. I just want to come up through Gamebred and be a Gamebred fighter. That's my only dream now.
All right, Javanis, last question, my friend. In a perfect world, what is the outcome when you take on Tyler Hill November 15th in Biloxi, Mississippi for Gamebred FC 8?
Knockout in like 30 seconds.
Absolutely, my friend. Well, I wish you nothing but the best. Thank you so much for talking to me, man. And I'm really excited for this fight. I think both of you guys have a really good chance to steal the show here.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Well, that's for us. That's it for us tonight. That is Mr. Javanis Ross. I'm Carlo Prusa. Stick around, fight fans.